Hello, welcome pen friends. Back with another video, and today's going to be my progress report of how I'm doing with my 8 pens and inks for February 2022. And also, it's a great chance for me to splash around and try out the Unison composition book that pen friend Marilyn sent. I've really been enjoying this and kind of comparing it in my mind with the CVS caliber because it's so much similar to that. So we're going to look at how I felt about each pen and ink combination. Even though we're only looking at one paper type, I've got notes and memory because I'm using all of these pens in different ways. Several of them for letter writing and note taking. And then I've got one that I'm using in a specific notebook, but we'll go through that. So what I have the pens in this month is my Rickshaw pen roll that is the first design, the first one I got where it has the flap. So I've got them in there, and I've got them kind of in order so that I can pull them out along with the ink cards. So we'll just jump right in. I do have one out of order because I actually started this notebook. Let's see if we got a good, I don't know. I started this notebook with Sailor 50 States Louisiana, even though that was sort of a bonus ink up, and I'm not really going to grade it or critique it, but I just wanted to show you that, yeah, I did do page 1 with that. Okay, but let's jump right into February because I'm really having a little bit of a struggle with focus, so I'm really going to focus on the 8 pens that I wanted to do for this month. So it's kind of an experiment to work on that, and even though I've got some other things going on, I really want to do that for today. So it's Cross Violet, and I have that in the Opus 88 Omar with a broad nib, and it's just a A++. Actually, I think I didn't put the second plus on here, but I'm going to, and hopefully it'll dry before we turn the page. But this is just excellent for everything and anything I want to do, really. Mainly for writing letters, but I'm also using it in my CVS caliber notebook, taking notes on the book I'm reading, which at the end of the video, I'm going to show you the library book that I'm reading right now that's kind of helping me with my little focus problem. So, gosh, it's just such a beautiful color, and this is what it looks like when you activate it with a water brush. I need to be seeing what you're seeing because kind of funny with my rig that I have today and with my glasses. It's just beautiful. It's highly saturated. It's got kind of a green sheen on the splatters, which is just fun, you know. But I just love this color so much. And the only disappointment for me is that right now it's sold out on Amazon and it's sold out at Van Ness. But I do have that little combination bottle where I put all my little samples together, and I imagine I've got at least 10 mils, so I'm really lucky, and I'm hoping, just kind of crossing my fingers, it'll come back because it's just stunning. It's purple enough for me. It doesn't look black in the nib, and the flow is just perfect. I mean, there are other dark purples, but now I'm just obsessed with this ink, so you know how that goes. I'm afraid we do know. If you're in this hobby, you know how it is. Okay, so next up is Diamine Claret, and I have it in the new to me Lamy Safari in pink, and I've got a Lamy broad nib, black broad nib on it, and this is excellent. I'm afraid the camera may, I think because of the time of the night and everything and the lighting, we may not be getting perfect color, but it's just a bright, cheerful color. It doesn't actually compare, like, say, with the Noodler's King Philip, but it is in its own right a beautiful ink. It's got excellent flow. It's affordable, and it's like what's that? It's available, which is a lot going for it because there's several inks that I'm doing this month, including the first one we talked about, the Cross Violet, that are getting harder to find. So that's one of my pet peeves, of course, is falling in love with either a pen or a ink and then not being able to find it to purchase when you can. I made the dumb mistake of trying to blow on this part to dry it, but so this is what this ink looks like when you add water. You get a nice pink kind of a much lighter than how it looks in the splatters or even coming out of the nib. But I'm giving this an A, and it's just gorgeous. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I'm just beginning really to explore this ink. I haven't had it in-house that long. Okay, so the next one is the famous or infamous, whichever, you know, it might be for you, Noodler's King Philip Requiem. And I have that in the Lamy All-Star. Lamy All-Star. The one that I keep saying, people have tried to help me know which color this is. It's purple, but I'm not sure. I need to slow down. That is one of my things. But it's a 1.1 stub. And this is just a gorgeous ink, but it's extremely, well, let's put it this way. Tonight, somehow or another, I stained my little pads that go in the bottom of my sink because I splattered ink on it. And even when I went back with the Clorox cleanup and put it on there, I think it's permanently stained King Philip, so I guess it won't hurt anything, but I need to be more careful over by the sink too. But it gets an A. It's... I'm definitely kind of exploring other colors that, including the first ink, that Sailor 50 States Louisiana is really interesting. It doesn't seem to be quite as saturated, and yet it's really pretty, and I haven't tried it in some of my other nibs yet. So this is just a broad nib. This is the stub nib. But see how, you know, reminiscent that is? I mean, it did... Of course, side by side, you know, I think you can kind of see what's going on there. There's a vibrance in this Noodler's ink, which is one of the reasons why they don't produce it that often. They need the dye to make it, and it's not, you know, it's pretty special. So anyway, trying to concentrate here. I really love it in the stub nib. It's not fair because I already know that, but I just wanted it for February. It's a nice... you know, well, not just for Valentine's, but just nice, bright, cheerful for cold winter. Although today, I don't even want to tell you what we had for weather. We're going to get 30s tonight, but we had up in the low 80s today. And right now, Coco is beside me, and he's laying in the window. The window's open. It's still like 81 out. It's just unbelievable. I'm not trying to rub it in. I know we're going to be hurting when it drops from 83 down to 30 with a wind chill of I don't know what, or 38 is, but we'll have wind chills that are going to make me suffer. But okay, so this ink was also a limited release. I do have a little bit of it left, but I got a giant bottle and then shared it out to a whole bunch of pen friends a couple years ago for my 3-year anniversary on YouTube. So there's really no mystery here. I love this, and I love it in a Lamy stub nib, but I also was thinking, gee, I need to put this in a Lamy medium nib because it's quite flowy, and it's, I call it aggressive because it's really, really wet ink, and of course it's a stainer, but when you're talking about writing, you get that ghosting and everything, and it may try to go back through, but it doesn't go back through this paper. So for one thing, that says a lot about this paper. This is like on par with the CVS caliber. But another thing that it's good about it is, of course, these splatters do seep through quite aggressively. But I'm thinking maybe if I had it in a Lamy fine nib or medium nib, I might be really kind of happy too with it. So it's over time I'll try it in some other pens. That's why having so many possibilities kind of overwhelms the mind sometimes. But okay, next up is the beautiful Diamine All the Best Shimmer ink from day 25 from Diamine Ink Vent. And I'm trying to see, I don't know, yeah, okay. Maybe you can see that it has the blue shimmer and some kind of green sheen around the edges. Oh my gosh, it's just so pretty. What you get in the writing is a little hit and miss, and it's difficult for me to show you, but when you tilt it, you can see like the dots are blue on Diamine, and I could see there's some sheen and some shimmer in the writing. And then here's what it looks like when you take a water brush to it. Kind of reddens it up and lifts the color, you know. So let's see, what did I give this? B plus to A. Okay, so after 2 weeks, I noticed, okay, this is the pen I have it in, the Jinhao X750 with a broad JoWo unbranded nib, but it's just a JoWo nib. Okay, it's real thick, so you have to kind of encourage it, sort of prime it a little. But I haven't had it like completely clog up. I might have used the wrong words over in the report card, because it didn't completely clog, but it does sort of need to be encouraged, and needs priming. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm thinking too, I need to make sure I'm using it every single day and keeping it exercised really well. So that's where I'm at with that, but I still think it leans toward an A. It's gorgeous. It's got all kinds of neat stuff going for it. So next up is Levenger Pinkley. It's so funny. My husband turned the TV off so that I could do the video, and he's having a phone call in another room, and I can hear everything he's saying in Spanish. So, okay. But hopefully you can hear me. I'm talking enough that it'll probably work. Okay, so the pen for Levenger Pinkley is the Jinhao X750 with the other unbranded JoWo broad nib. And this ink is discontinued, but it's so gorgeous, and I'm such a lucky person because my pen friend sent me, you know, it's apparently not her favorite ink, and so I have what's left of the bottle, and I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. It was, for one thing, my first bottle. I haven't actually taken the tape off yet, but I'll do that later. It's my first Levenger bottle, but I just am in love with this neon pink. It's so pretty. It's just as intense to me, maybe even more so as Hope Pink, and I love it. I love what it looks like when you activate it with a water brush, and I love it for letter writing and for note-taking. Of course, note-taking is more of a highlight kind of ink, but it's a lot of fun, so... Okay, Coco, stay there, hon. We really can't have you on this set. Is gonna, fall apart. You gotta stay there. You can watch from there. Sit down. That's a good boy. Okay, next up is, oops, I got things out of order. Platinum Mixable Silky Purple. Oops. Okay, Coco had to get down because he's had quite an exciting day, so poor thing. He just wants to get up here, but there's not much room, and the books are going to fall down if he's up here too. I'm hoping you can see that. It's got like a sheen. I don't know. Gosh, I want to call it gold or green. Yeah, there's green in there too. It's just so pretty. It's a Platinum Mixable Silky Purple, and I've got it in the Platinum Little Shooting Star Hello Kitty edition. Let's see if you can see that. It's got a 0.3, so it's a fine nib, and I did purchase a converter for the pen. So this has been great. Let me show you where I've been using it. I've been using it on my little Scribbles That Matter notebook, and it goes right on the pen loop that came, you know, as part of this notebook. And I've just been taking notes. So let's see if there's anything that's not... Yeah, okay, so I've been taking notes and in here, and on different things. They're rather incoherent, but anyway, it's just been lovely. I love it. And so I've got lots of pages, not all with the exact same, but I know that it has been excellent on that paper, and I just love how it straps to the notebook. So I gave that an A+, definitely. I mean, it's not really for letter writing, but it's excellent for that little notebook with a small dot grid, and for taking notes, for whatever I want to do like that. And it's just gorgeous. You can see how I just favor those colors, those bright colors. I mean, they're not exactly the same. They all have something a little different going for them. And of course, Pinkley is bright and cheerful too. So it's interesting how I ended up in that same kind of... what was I was going to say? Wheelhouse. I don't know why I'm saying that. Okay. Anyway, next up is Montblanc Velvet Red, and I put that in my Parker Vector. And this has a medium nib, and it's just a sweet little pen. It's also got a converter. Whoops, make sure that ink is, yeah, the ink needs to be, you know, kind of encouraged there. But it's just wonderful. It flows, this ink flows so nice in this pen. So I've enjoyed it for letters and for note-taking whenever I pick it up. I actually haven't, it's funny, I haven't really used a lot of the fill yet. Maybe half, something like that. So that's why I need to really concentrate on these 8. Notice how it kind of looks rusty here, but then the red really comes out when you use the water brush. I really love that. So I gave it an A. I said, okay, it's better on the Tomoe River paper than it is on the Unison or the CVS, but it still writes just fine on here. In fact, there's no issue with the flow on this paper. It's just that I just prefer this particular pen and ink on Tomoe River paper. So now I have done that. I'm going to have to put this blotter page for sure in between so that won't smear too bad. Okay, and we'll go to the last one, which for this time is the Diamine Writer's Blood. And this is a really flowy ink. And so I thought it would be really good for this little beautiful pen with the diamond hat, the little Jinhao 301. And it is great, but it's not great on this paper. So the CVS caliber and the Unison, this is the Unison paper, it doesn't do it much favors because of the I'm not going to say it's scratchy on here, because it's definitely not a scratchy nib, but it's maybe it is the feel. I mean, you could see that there is some wetness there, but I would have to write a lot slower than I normally do in order to feel like it was right. But on Tomoe River paper, I don't feel that way. I'm enjoying it on there. It's really, really good for the Hobonichi, and because it's so small that it can write in the little spaces, and I'm just getting started with that, so I don't have much to show you. But I love this pen. I love how it looks and feels, and this is a really appropriate ink for it. I think someone mentioned that, saying, you know, if I had a super extra fine nib to try the Writer's Blood, and it's spot on. I mean, it just really does flow really well. It flows so well with like a medium nib that it's almost too much. Let's see, and of course it didn't really go through at all. I mean, it didn't even seep through. So as we were looking there, I should have been calling our attention. Lots of times the ink will seep through. So this is the Montblanc Velvet Red, and of course splattered on like that, it'll usually seep through. But it doesn't, like, you could still write on this side. I can come back in and I can try different nibs. I can add to this journal in any way that I want. So, and then this was the Silky Purple, and that's light, you know, that's light seepage or whatever, or I guess you could even just call that ghosting. And then, okay, Pinkley didn't make a lot of problems there. You can see it, sort of, but it doesn't look bad. See how crispy the paper sounds? That was my first clue that this was going to be great paper, because it sounds like CVS, and it sounds like kind of like Tomoe River paper, just nice and crinkly. Okay, so the Diamine All the Best Shimmer, you could definitely see where it tried to seep through, but that doesn't bother me either, really. I can do something up here, or glue in some other Pinkley writing from some other type of paper, whatever I want to do. I'm determined I'm going to fill this notebook up. I'm going to get to know this paper, so really neat. In a minute, we'll look at the final report card, or it's not final because we're just past the middle of the month, but what I noticed is that I seldom change grades. I always could, but I I pretty much know my thoughts by now after writing for more than 2 weeks with this. Okay, so King Philip is very aggressive and it did do this, but let me grab the CVS caliber because I want to compare and show you that the Unison and the CVS caliber have the same sort of deal going on. Just a second. Okay, so this is the Unison with King Philip, which is the most aggressive ink that I'm using this month. So here it is on the front and the back of the Unison, and then this is the CVS caliber composition book, and I did put it in here. So here's the front. Let's see. We actually would like to kind of compare side by side. So okay. No two splatters are the same, but this is CVS on the left and Unison on the right. And I didn't do the water brush, but I just wanted a quick kind of splatter. Now we're going to flip them. Okay, so this is the CVS seepage and so forth, and then this is the Unison. So it's very similar, and I don't think you can really replicate these splashes. I tried to be really fair. I tried to put super amount on the CVS caliber because I wanted to make sure I wasn't trying, wasn't not putting enough. So, I mean, they just seem very compatible, very similar in behavior. Let's see, that's the one that came through the most, right? But I don't believe that was more ink. Let's see. I mean, you should have seen how heavy that was, and I just let it sit there and dry. But I'm not ready to say that one is better than the other. I just want to show you that this is the type of thing I'm going to be doing, but I'm not testing every single ink, side by side yet in these. I'm just kind of going intuitively because I can get kind of obsessive about that kind of thing, and I want to kind of stay balanced. Right, Coco? We have to stay balanced. We got a new couch today, new to us. We went to Habitat to Humanity, so this is like a huge thing. He is so tired from smelling everything, and we're able to finally throw out the old horrible couch. And so it's been pretty exciting of an afternoon, I think. And tonight a cold front is coming, so just really rare for him to be able to sit in an open window in the middle of February. So, okay, so here's the report card, even though we already went over it, so I probably won't, continue to, but I did go ahead and fill it in, and then I can always take a red pen and change it if I need to, if something changes. I think probably all the best being a shimmer ink, that I may come in and decide my final decision on what the grade is on that, because it's a great ink. I just, maybe I don't deserve to ink up with shimmer ink right now because I'm not exactly constantly writing with each one. I'm going right for this pen. So this is definitely the top pen that I'm going for. And when I'm writing letters, I'm also going for the Claret in the Safari and the King Philip. So I'm going for, let's line them up where they belong, sort of. See. And then, of course, I'm reaching for the Pinkley a lot. And what's in common with that is they're all broad nibs. But I'm not reaching for this as much. I do when it's someone I want to show, what it looks like in the letter, just to write with it. And then it is kind of normal for me to write less with the ones that aren't broad nibs, but that's how it's going, and it's really exciting. One of the other things I did notice this month is that as much as I love this pen roll, I really like the hand roll better where it doesn't have the flap. Because I just take the hand roll and the pens are ready to grab out. It's totally different. You've seen that blue one before. But let me grab it so that we can compare it right side by side. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is the hand roll, and it also holds 8 pens, but you just grab them right out, and they stay in. You could take it and, you know, dump it upside down, and they don't come out because they just stay really nicely. But I love this yellow one too, but it's definitely this for me. Like if I order any more different, which I have no business doing, pen rolls, it would definitely be the hand roll I would prefer. And I don't know if that, let's see, I guess this one isn't going to stay in here, but I'll put it in here for now. So what you do, you just, you know, fold it over, and then you roll. It's about the same amount of time. It's nothing to roll it. It's just that when I have these, when I have this on the desk, this just seems so much quicker to grab the pens out of. And it's probably just me that I have to fold back the flap on this one. But so this is not a review video, so I don't know what possessed me to start talking about this. But I guess I just have to be myself, otherwise I'm not going to make videos. So here I am. And I'd love to hear about any of your adventures with inking. Ink, writing, splashing with inks, notebooks. This is really, really, really fun for me to try out another, you know, really high quality notebook. And these are reportedly 50 cents if you can find them in Target. And you can purchase them online, but I'm sort of having trouble with that because it says a minimum $35 purchase or something like that. When I go to try to look and see, because I would like, you know, maybe to get 5 of them or something like that, you know, but I can't find them in my local Target. But thank you, pen friend Marilyn, for sending me one. And I've also got another one to try that pen friend Kathy sent. But I thought to myself, gee, I think I'll focus on this one, you know, like really fill this notebook up and enjoy getting to know the paper. Then I'll try the other notebook. And, oh, that leads me to the final point, which I could easily forget. I went to the library and I got a book called Stolen Focus by Johann Hari, and maybe it's pronounced different, I'm not sure. Why You Can't Pay Attention and How to Think Deeply Again. This is a game changer. This is amazing. I got it. It's brand new. The librarian said, oh, this is brand new. We just got it. So what I had done is I'd gone in there and done a hold thinking, well, it'll probably be weeks. But I think I was just the first one to put the hold or something. So then I found out he wrote one on addiction called Chasing the Scream, and one on depression called Lost Connections. And I went down a little rabbit hole online on my computer, and next thing I knew, I was finding out that Chasing the Scream ended up being the basis for the movie The United States versus the singer, and now I'm completely blank, Bobby something. Okay, that's crazy. I should have made notes, but I just don't do that. I just don't. So anyway, I wanted to mention the book because it's really, really, it's more than telling you put your cell phone away. He's actually a journalist, and he's researched attention and all of that, and think it's going to wind up being a book that I want to have. But I thought I'm going to read it first. I'm going to use my library, make sure, and just see how it goes. But it may end up being a keeper because it's really, really good. So this is my everyday one because I only have it for 2 weeks, and I'm sure somebody will have it on hold after that. But okay, this is almost 30 minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll see you on the next video, and I hope this was enjoyable for you. I hope that you're enjoying your pens and inks, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.